I just saw a very wild clip. Politicians are no strangers to weird takes, but what Ted Cruz just said is so shocking. I actually can't believe this is real. I double checked if this was like AI or like a bad lip reading video or something dubbed over. It's not. He said it with his whole chest.
Senator Booker also said we should have bipartisan agreement. I think that's a great idea. We should have bipartisan agreement. How about we all come together and say, let's stop murders? How about we all come together and say, let's stop rape? How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles? I want you to look at what happened when the National Guard went to D.C.
What in tarnation? Pardon me? Can we roll that back, put it on the Jumbotron, please? There's no way he just said that out loud, right? What a crazy Freudian slip. Or maybe not even a Freudian slip. It looks like he is reading off a piece of paper for his monologue here. He might have wrote that down as like a really strong stamp that he needs to get across here about people need to come together to stop attacking pedophiles. What? Teddy, sweaty and ready out here trying to defend pedophiles or some shit? Man, those Epstein files are never coming out, huh? Heavens to Betsy. Now, you have to imagine that's not what he meant to say, so you would think that he'd pretty quickly scramble to set the record straight so there's no confusion on where he stands. I don't think he wants to be known as Ted Stop Attacking Pedophiles Cruz, but he never goes back to, like, explain what he tried to express. Also, nobody in the room challenges him on it, like, hey, Ted, quick question before moving on. Did you mean what you said at the end there? Like you said, stop murder? Okay, good, yeah, all right. And then stop rape? All right, good, yeah, no, rape's bad. Let's stop that. And then you said stop attacking pedophiles, and I couldn't help but be confused because, well, attacking pedophiles is good. Like, that needs to happen more often. In fact, I'd argue we don't attack pedophiles enough. So what did you mean there at the end, Ted? But there is not a soul in this building that says anything about it, not even a peep. So they just move on.
Robbery fell by 57%. Homicide fell by 58%. Sex abuse fell by 40%. Those are real results. And Detective Pemberton?
Goober just carries on business as usual, as if nothing is abnormal about what he's just stated. No one in the room says anything about it, not even a whisper. That's crazy to me. Now, I attempted to do the impossible of putting together the jigsaw puzzle that is Ted Cruz's enigmatic mind, but that's like dividing by zero. I can't quite figure it out. I tried to understand like what he wanted to say but fumbled based on the slide that he pulls up, which is stats. Robbery, homicide, sex abuse. Homicide ties into the first thing he said about stopping murder, but then the second thing he says about stopping rape, well, that ties into sex abuse. The third thing, robbery, is not anything he ever said about stopping. So where the fuck does the word pedophile even come from? And how does the word attacking pedophiles even squeak out from between his foul butt cheeks? I've seen, like, long versions of this. Not the whole thing. Maybe at some point it comes up as like a, previously on Dragon Ball Z I said this, but meant that. Maybe, but I haven't seen that. I checked both of his Twitter accounts because apparently he's got two. And he posts, like, 8 times a day, and he hasn't uttered a peep about him saying to stop attacking pedophiles, that we should come together to stop attacking pedophiles. So maybe there's a chance that's what he actually believes. It's not that far-fetched. Just look at how the current administration handles everything in regards to Epstein, jumping around from lie to lie to lie about, oh, the Epstein files, they aren't real. The Epstein files, no, they were on my desk, but they're also not real. Also, there's no the new thing. There's no credible information that Epstein trafficked minors to others. There were no clients. There's no list. Also, Maxwell gets moved from a prison to a fucking summer camp, basically. So maybe Ted Cruz is just going full mask off, saying like, all right, enough is enough. Can we stop attacking pedophiles? The Epstein files are never coming out. Like, maybe that's what was on his mind. All in all, it's a pretty interesting strategy here from old Ted Cruz. The think about the pedophiles approach. Why won't anyone think of the pedophiles' feelings? No one's considering that. Stop being mean to pedophiles. Can we all come together and agree on that? Holy shit. It's unbelievable, man. Anyway, I just had to show you this. That's really about it. See ya. It's that time again where I start gushing about aliens. It's one of my favorite topics to discuss. It's the one I get most heated about on stream and have the most absurd conversations with chat on stream about. And yesterday, there was a massive UAP congressional hearing that had some very well established individuals, some very high ranking individuals that were making testimonies under oath about UAPs and government divisions, as well as general information about things relating to UAPs and the government. It's all very interesting, especially because it's coming from people who have real merit here. It's like substantial credibility for the individuals that have come forward under oath to speak on these things. It's not like they just grabbed random nobodies, right? They didn't go out there and find Jericamo Sloppenheim, who goes to the congressional hearing talking about how the green guys from space probed his chocolate starfish. This is very buttoned up people that have come forward to talk about these things and blow the whistle on UAP departments, even talking about how some people were injured during UAP retrieval programs, and it is fascinating. I haven't had the chance to talk to my father about all of this, whom all of you know is the preeminent expert on anything extraterrestrial. He is the world's best when it comes to anything alien related. I'm sure right now he's hunkered down, doodling away, crunching numbers, theorizing things, all from these new testimonials that have come forward. But I think it's important to note that they don't present any, physical evidence. The evidence that gets presented here about the UAPs and everything is testimonial, which is real evidence, but I don't want anyone coming into this expecting them to wheel out the corpse of the fucking Martian Manhunter or something, or have an alien smoking a cigarette talking about his time in deep space and his journey to get to Earth. That doesn't happen. Instead, they are talking about departments and different things that have been going on for a while in regards to non-human crafts. And one of the biggest ones is about the Immaculate Constellation program, which is now fully available for anyone to go out there and read, which I think is a very cool thing to do. And also there was this moment. Now I learned about it on stream last night, so I didn't get to do a huge deep dive on stream, but this morning I spent quite a bit of time going over a lot of the big moments, and this one really stood out to me.
Has there been any, to your knowledge, any communication with a non-human life form?
So the term communication is a bit of a trick word because there's verbal communication like we're having now. The problem is you also have nonverbal communication. And so I would say definitively yes, but from a nonverbal meaning, when a Russian reconnaissance aircraft comes into U.S. airspace, we scramble 2 F-22s, and we are certainly communicating intent and capability. I think the same goes with this. We have these things that are being observed over controlled U.S. airspace, and they're not really doing a good job hiding themselves. They're making it pretty obvious they have the ability to even interfere with our nuclear equities and our nuclear readiness.
That's pretty big, considering this is all under oath. And this is someone who was once a counterintelligence operative for the government. This isn't just some random, fucking weirdo in their basement who's locked themselves away feeding into delusions. This is someone that did have a pretty powerful position, at least as I understand it, and many others who came forward here, the same. They all had positions that have real merit for what they're talking about. So it is a big deal to have these testimonials. Now, as I discussed on stream, I still believe aliens are absolutely out there in the universe. Those slimy weasels, I know they're out there having a hoot and a holler, but I truly, sincerely do not believe they have ever been to this little fucking space rock. I just don't. I just think it is so unbelievably unlikely, and if they ever did visit us, we would never know because their technology would be so far beyond our comprehension, and there's no way we'd be able to actually even see it at any point, let alone retrieve some kind of crash. The odds of them crashing in here, there's a higher chance that I get a growth spurt in my 30s. It's just so unlikely. Now, I don't believe anyone during the congressional hearing was lying under oath. Absolutely not. I have no doubt that everyone that was testifying and giving their statements was being 100% truthful. I believe all the departments are real departments. I believe all the programs are real programs, all of that they spoke about. I believe in this case, they believe that there was a real nonverbal communication with a non-human entity. But there's no physical evidence that was presented. There's nothing that was presented that convinces me that, oh, it really was aliens. I know they're being truthful. I'm very confident in that, but that doesn't mean that it's absolutely aliens. For example, this statement about, like, definitively, yes, we have had nonverbal communication with non-human entities. Well, we also thought that back in the 70s with the wow signal. And there's still a lot of people who believe the wow signal is irrefutable proof of intelligent life out there, but I just think there's more evidence to suggest that it isn't. There's a lot of other explanations for what the wow signal really is. Like, just because he believes that there was 100% definitive communication with a non-human entity doesn't mean that that's what it was. There could be something else to explain it, and since we weren't presented with any of what that is, it's now just, okay, I guess I have to assume it was aliens because he believes it's aliens, you know? It's just hard to get me to 100% say, like, yes, it's aliens. I desperately want to. I would be extremely happy to be proven wrong about my take that aliens have never visited us. But at the moment, there just still isn't that proof that gets me there and convinces me of that. But hopefully this is the start of more and more conversations and more information about UAPs and the government's involvement with UAP programs and departments. Maybe we can get some more declassified information and evidence of anything of non-human origin. That would be extremely exciting. If that information and that content exists, I would love for that to start being shared, and this seems like a good step in that direction if all of it truly is of non-human origin. So hopefully this is just the first of many UAP breakthroughs. Did you watch the UAP Congress hearing today? Apparently it was earth-shattering. The UAP thing was today? I'll definitely take a peek. I feel like if this actually was groundbreaking, my dad would have called me ASAP with a big "I told you so."
Live for us on Capitol Hill. Joe, you were in the room for that more than 2-hour hearing. What did you learn?
Aliens are real. You won't believe it. And they want to suck my dick right now.
If these technologies are not made by any government, who's making them? Private companies, or are you implying they are crafted by a non-human intelligence?
No, my buddy Eric makes them in his garage.
That's precisely why we're here. The problem is that, temporally speaking, over decades, not just the last 10 years, to put this in perspective,
Are these private companies you're implying, or is this non-human intelligence?
it may be both.
Okay.
When it comes to Blue Force technology,
What? Maybe both. Like they're working together, or like there's different UAPs? I don't think they could both be true, right? They're private company aliens. Oh, of course, yeah. What's next? You gonna tell me the aliens unionized or something? Yeah, whatever. Man, I wish they just had 3 titties.
to discuss.
Okay. Are you read into secret UAP crash retrieval programs?
We would have to have a conversation in a closed session, ma'am. I signed documentation 3 years ago that restricts my ability to discuss specifically crash retrievals.
It's like the Suicide Squad.
My book through the
They got like that thing in their neck gonna blow his head off if he talks about it.
And what is in the book is what I was told I'm allowed to talk about.
Has the government conducted secret UAP crash retrieval programs, yes or no?
Yes.
That's not, well, that doesn't necessarily mean they were successful. That just means they might have seen something and then tried to go get it and reclaim it, believing that it could be a UAP. And then what they found could have very well been just my buddy Eric's man-made doohickey. But that would be cool if they have retrieved some.
Were they designed to identify and reverse engineer alien craft, yes or no?
Yes.
So those two yeses right there at the end, very important there. Now, just shortly after that hearing, that was Congresswoman Nancy Mason chairing.
I mean, it's cool to hear, but that's not surprising. I don't think aliens have ever visited Earth. I've made that very clear. I know aliens are out there. I think it's unlikely that we're the only intelligent life. I just don't think they've ever been here. I truly don't. But it's not surprising me to hear, like, I'm assuming it's true because he's under oath, that they had like a program to go retrieve it and try and like reverse engineer it. That doesn't mean that it ever found or produced anything, right? Like, I've had times where I've gone out trying to get laid. I didn't get laid. Shit, I didn't meet anybody. You know? Like, it's you know, you can have those plans, you can try and do those things. It doesn't necessarily mean that it worked. But I think the question should be, have they ever retrieved anything of extraterrestrial origin? Because you can have a department dedicated to reverse engineering it if it's ever retrieved. The question should really just be, have we ever actually gotten anything of extraterrestrial origin? That's what I want an answer to, and some evidence of.
Yes.
See, that's not confirmation they ever got one. Again, that is a program that would aim to retrieve them if there was any. Like, I feel like there's millions. Like, we have a fucking Space Defense Force program, right? They haven't fought off any alien invaders, I'll tell you right now. Apparently, the biggest bombshell during this hearing was documents regarding the Immaculate Constellation program, which is a secret UFO retrieval program the Pentagon is running. They just released them online for everyone to read. Ooh. United States Department of Defense and the intelligence community are withholding information about anomalous phenomena from Congress. It's a testimony from Michael Schellenberger. I do believe we probably have plenty of programs for that. Like, there's no way this guy's lying, not under oath. No shot. I definitely do think there are programs for, like, retrieval of UAPs or, like, any kind of investigation into it, reverse engineering if they ever find one. I just don't think it's ever happened. I don't think there's ever been a alien spacecraft that has ended up here. You don't think UFOs exist at all? I think it is so unbelievably like main character syndrome type shit to think that somehow aliens, if they have faster than light travel or wormhole traveling capabilities, would somehow just crash on our fucking tiny little planet. That would be so unbelievably unlikely because it's incomprehensible to us the technology that they would already have in order to even make it this far. Like, that's so unlikely. And for us to catch a glimpse of them is even more unlikely. If they made it here and we'd somehow see them in a fucking Tic Tac, that's unbelievably unlikely. So the witness is lying? Brother, how many times I gotta say it? No, I don't think they're lying at all. They're talking about programs. I have no doubt these programs exist. Just like we have our Space Defense Force program. But we're not defending the Earth from anything right now. We're not fighting off the fucking Tyranids out there with the space defense program America's got. They exist, I have no doubt. I have no doubt about it. They're definitely not lying. Tic Tac video, probably the most credible we have. Yep, that and the other one from the ship. Those are the two UAP videos that have the least amount of explanation for. What do you think about the theory that aliens created us and are coming now because we're close to ending ourselves? What? I think that's a theory that's based on nothing but someone who really likes anime. If life is found on other moons in our solar system, would people finally stop thinking we are special and we're literally the point of the universe? So for the longest time, I always thought if aliens ever visit us, if aliens ever have visited us and we finally reveal it, I always thought they'd be like a unifying moment because in pretty much every sci-fi property ever, when people speak of humanity or Earth, it's always like one united front of humans. And I always thought if aliens were discovered, that would be that unifying moment where like everyone on Earth comes together. And now I'm 100% sure that would never fucking happen at all. That would just never happen. That just caused so much fucking chaos now. We'd take their oil. Yeah. Man, we would butt fuck them so hard if we could. How disappointed would you be if aliens just looked like humans but with pointy ears or glowing eyes? There is not a single alien design that would actually disappoint me. The only one that would disappoint me is if aliens looked like what that researcher said dudes are going to look like from gaming in 20 years. If they looked like this, then I'd be mad. But anything shy of this, I'm going to be blown away. I'm going to be so happy. Yesterday, there was a fight that almost happened that had more hype than Mayweather vs. Pacquiao, than Muhammad Ali vs. Tyson, than Joey Chestnut vs. a plate of 60 hot dogs. It was a fight that took place, almost, in an unlikely Thunderdome, a very odd octagon, a Senate hearing. We were so close to witnessing the glory of what it must have been like to live during the medieval ages when disagreements were settled with a duel to the death. Two consenting adults, a challenge was issued, a challenge was accepted, but unfortunately, they didn't get to exchange knuckle sandwiches. Their tummies were left empty because they put the kibosh on it. They weren't allowed to scrap. They weren't allowed to get after it, unfortunately. And damn it, what a shame. Somewhere out there in the multiverse, there is a dimension where this did happen, and it broke all of the viewership records for fights. But unfortunately, we don't inhabit that reality.
Today is quite different, but after you left here, you got pretty excited about the keyboard. In fact, you tweeted at me 1, 2,
so fire.
3, 4, 5 times. And let me read what the last one said. It said,
I thought that was Adam Sandler.
CEO who pretends like
Kinda.
he's self-made. Sir, I wish he was in the truck with me when I was building my plumbing company myself, and my wife was running the office because I sure remember working pretty hard and long hours. What a clown. Fraud. Always has been, always will be. Quit the tough guy act in these Senate hearings. You know where to find me. Any place, anytime, cowboy.
And the gauntlet's getting dropped.
Sir, this is a time, this is a place. If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
We'll stand your butt.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big
No,
guy.
no, stop it.
Is that your solution every
Hold it. No, sit down. Sit down. Okay.
Oh, boo! Let him fight.
Active.
Oh, okay.
Sit down, please.
Let him fight.
Hold it. Hold it.
Oh, Jesus. The gavel comes out, and that's where it ends, unfortunately. They should have settled it the old-fashioned way. Pugilistic fisticuffs. Let it ride. Stronger man wins. God, it could have been so hype. There's also a guy in the background here whose expression really sums it all up. This guy right here. Biggest fucking smile on his face. Just like all of us, he wants to see this unfold. That's hardcore, though. This is a time. This is a place. Do you want to settle it now? He starts taking his wedding ring off. That actually was hard. Armstrong, is that you? Yeah, fucking nanomachine, son. Seemed like a consensual duel. Exactly! It was a consensual duel. Like, there's gotta be some kind of, like, old rhetoric in the Constitution somewhere that still exists, because, I mean, there's still shit in there from, like, the 1700s, that says if two senators or two men in a Senate hearing agree to a fight, it must unfold. And it's illegal to break it up. There's gotta be something in there like that. Never thought we'd see a on-site moment at a Senate hearing. Dude brought the receipts, too. He came in with the fucking tweets, and he's like, let's just do it. Let's run it. Stand the fuck up. Or, excuse me, stand your butt up. I like how they keep saying butt. Like you're about to fight, you can at least say ass. I think that's warranted. I do hope they schedule some kind of fight. Like, shit. I'll host a boxing event for them or something, or cage fight, street fight, I don't know. I want to see this happen now. I don't know shit about Mr. O'Brien, and I also don't know shit about Senator Mullen, but man, this would be a crazy fight to see. They look like they got that old man muscle. Put them in a real MWL fight. Oh, that's kind of fire. Yeah, wait, that's pretty good. Our first senator match. Actually do it. Do either one of them have their DMs open? They're clearly very active on Twitter since this is where it all stemmed from. Let me see. I'll see if either one of them have open DMs. Senator Mullen does not. What about Sean O'Brien? Neither does Sean. Unlucky. Every election cycle, there's a Senate street fight. That'd be so good. It's what we need. You did not want to feel the burn here, unfortunately. Let them fight. They both agreed to it. Everyone was excited. Just let it happen. This guy's excited. This guy's excited. He's kind of indifferent. You missed the best part. He challenged him to a charity match at the end. Of this? Wait, did he?
Oh, hold on.
Big
No,
guy.
no, stop it. I have the
he
mic.
said.
I'm sorry.
They don't
Make
like-
it work, Mike. You have time.
All right.
Make your statement.
Then let's do this, because I did challenge you, and I accepted your challenge, and you went quiet.
No, I didn't go quiet. I was
Okay, in my defense, this is where the Twitter clip ended, like when Bernie broke it up. So I assumed nothing happened here except Bernie lecturing. This is big. Wait, huge development.
But,
You challenged me to a cage match,
No,
acting like a
sir.
12-year-old schoolyard bully.
excuse me. Hold it. No, excuse me. I have the
I will
mic.
say exactly.
Senator
what you
Mullen,
said.
I have the mic. We're not here to talk about physical abuse.
You brought.
We're not
him-
talking
It's not abuse, it's a consenting
Let
fight.
let me show you his hearing, because I want to expose this thug to who he is. And
Could you not point at me? That's disrespectful.
I don't care about respecting you at all. I respect
don't
people that
respect you at all.
respect. So,
All right, hold it. Hold it.
It's like an Xbox Live lobby.
You're one of
Now, hold
100
it.
of the most
Hold
elite
it,
people.
please.
Act it.
Please. All right.
Oh my god. So where was the challenge to a charity match then? Where was that? Still pretty cool though that they kept going, but I didn't see anything about a different time, different day charity match. What I initially thought was fanfic from that chatter about the charity match turns out is real. So I found this in an article about it. The two traded angry insults for several more minutes, each called the other a thug, with Mullen at one point suggesting they fight for charity at an event next spring. Literally a WWE moment here, like, see you at WrestleMania, bub. Be there or be square, Buster. I'm gonna make Hulkmania run wild on you. And then he repeated an offer he made earlier this year on social media. O'Brien declined, instead suggesting they meet for coffee and work out their differences. Mullen accepted, but the two kept shouting at each other until the next senator, Democratic Senator Maggie Hassan of New Hampshire, started her questioning by talking over them. It's looking unlikely that they're actually going to fight, but I'm going to keep my fingers crossed as a just in case, because I'd love to see it now. I went into this Senate hearing with no information on their stats, what's their background in combat sports, but I don't care. I think it could be a really fun event. I can't recall the last time we saw a good old-fashioned Senator Smackdown. There's just something in me tickling me, telling me they might actually be good at fighting. Like, they might have that dog in them. I think it could be a really enjoyable fight, not only from, like, the pure entertainment spectacle of it with these two older gentlemen that have no business being in a fight like this in the first place, duking it out. I actually think there's going to be a hidden element of surprise about, like, how competent they are with fighting. Just something in me tells me that, because they were more than willing to just let it rip on this day at that location. That's confidence. That's a scary level of confidence. So I do think it could be a fun event. They should put it together, make it a whole community thing, make it a charity thing, turn it into a nice, big, positive event. I'm sure it can be done. But yeah, I found this whole thing to just be so silly, I had to share it. That's really about it. So yeah. I very rarely watch government hearings. The only time I ever tune in is when something big happened and I'm trying to get the latest scoop on what the important information is and new developments. And every time without fail, I get nothing. Less than nothing. It's just perpetually dancing around questions without giving any real information whatsoever, and leaves me scratching my head wondering what was even the point of doing this in the first place. Whenever one of these hearings is going on, usually the person that's getting grilled doesn't actually respond most of the time. It's like talking to a stuffed animal when you're a kid, expecting a response, but you get nothing. That's how these go most of the time. And the best example was the most recent one with the Secret Service director. After the assassination attempt on Trump, the Secret Service director's been catching a lot of heat and was brought in front of big government to get fed that government cheese. And they were laying into her, asking a lot of questions about the Secret Service. And she just sat there like a fucking statue, giving non-answers. Like, I can't even put the word answer in the same sentence as what her tactic was. It was a complete waste of time. Now, since that hearing, the Secret Service director has resigned. That is a new development. That's a big breaking story there, which absolutely seems for the best, all things considered, especially after this hearing, where they just truly seem inept and can't even answer the most basic questions. Like, they would lose points on their SAT for not writing their name because they just refused to. Like, if one of the government officials had asked the Secret Service director how many fingers they were holding up, she would have probably refused to answer. Like, getting led by someone like that doesn't seem to be optimal. But I just need to show you how bad this hearing was, and I didn't watch the whole thing. Maybe there were some parts that were better than others, but holy shit, like, the most direct questions could not elicit a direct answer or even a semblance of an almost answer. It was infuriating. The Forbes video basically covers it. Is this an actual good breakdown?
That's Chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Mr. Jordan from Ohio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director, were you guessing or lying? The day after President Trump is shot, see assets for Mr. Trump's detail. So which is it? Because both statements can't be true. Were you guessing or lying when you said you didn't turn down requests from President Trump's detail?
Neither, sir, and I appreciate the question.
Well, what
Wait, what?
Those statements don't...
As far as requests...
Well, maybe they got tired of asking. Maybe you turned them down...
This guy has a voice of, like, every background character in a Ubisoft open world game. I don't know who this is. But every time he speaks, all I hear is like an NPC like, "Hey, watch where you're going." He literally sounds like that fucking stock voice actor that does those.
And you turned them down. What they asked for and how many times did you turn them down? Pretty basic questions.
So again, without having all of the details in front of me, sir, what I can tell you is that there are times...
You didn't get briefed...
This is going fucking nowhere. This is going, like, legitimately nowhere. All of these fucking conferences and hearings seem to be absolutely worthless. Like, legitimately worthless.
very specific questions. I want very specific answers. Most of my questions are going to demand a yes or no answer. Do you understand?
I do.
Okay.
That wasn't a yes. Should have said
Both
yes.
sides of the aisle today have asked for your resignation. Would you like to use my 5 minutes to draft your resignation letter? Yes or no?
No, thank you.
Was this a colossal failure?
It was a failure.
Yes.
Colossal.
Was it a
Colossal?
colossal failure is the question.
How big?
Yes or no?
I have admitted this is a terrible.
This is a yes or no series of questions. Was it
approximately how big of a failure?
Yes or no?
Metric system, please.
Yes.
Was this tragedy preventable? Yes or no?
Yes.
Has the Secret Service been transparent with this committee?
Yes.
Would you say the fact that we had to issue a subpoena to get you to show up today as being transparent? Yes or no?
I have always been.
Yes or no? You didn't want to answer the question.
Committee.
We had to issue a subpoena to get you to show up today. That is not transparent, by the way. You stated earlier Secret Service is not political. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Would you say leaking your opening statement to Punchbowl News, Politico's Playbook, and Washington Post several
What the
hours...
fuck is Punchbowl News? Is that like her daughter's scholastic news reporting section? What the fuck is that? Wait, you're telling me the Secret Service director broke the story to Punchbowl News? Is that real? Pop Crave. Pop Crave has the breaking. Secret Service only communicates directly with Pop Crave and Dexerto. Nothing else. God damn it.
hours before you sent it to this committee as being political. Yes or no?
I have no idea how my statement got out.
Well, that's bullshit. So, Mr. Chairman...
Oh, hey, pardon my French.
To ask unanimous
Bullshit.
consent to enter into the record articles by Punchbowl News, Political Playbook, Washington Post. Has the Secret Service provided this committee a complete list of all law enforcement personnel that were there that day? Have you done that? Have you provided a list to the Oversight Committee? Yes or no?
I will have to get back to you on that.
That is a no. Have you provided all audio and video recordings in your possession to this committee, as we asked on July 15th? Yes or no?
I would have to get back to you.
That is a no. You're full of shit today. You're just being completely dishonest. Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
Hey, please.
Mr.
Please, come on. Naughty language in the house of God. Are you out of your mind? Get her out of here. Get her out of here. This lack of professionalism is more insulting than the Secret Service's failure. Unbelievable. Oh my God. Why I never.
We have to maintain decorum in this committee, no matter
Have
how
you provided
upset we
any
get.
and all memos to this committee that we've asked you on July 15th? Have you provided all memorandums within the Secret Service?
I would have to get back to you on
that. That is a no. You are being dishonest or lying. Like you're being dishonest here with this committee. These are important questions that the American people want answers to, and you're just dodging.
When the speakers said that they need to maintain decorum no matter how upset they get, his voice was actually shaking. I think he was on the verge of tears. I'm not entirely sure, but when I rewatched this segment, I was like, wow, that guy really doesn't like potty mouth. Like, the language of sailors, he was really not standing by. Here, they're talking to someone that has had a massive failure in what their job is supposed to be with this assassination attempt. And, like, he gets very concerned over her saying, shit. So I found that to be really weird. I understand professionalism is important. I get it. But, like, come on. We're all adults here. I think our ears can hear some of these words without needing to be, like, reprimanded like we're in school or something. I just felt like that was kind of comical and very kind of childish as well for him to be like that and call her out for the language. And speaking of call outs, right now the Secret Service director is getting her ham steamed. Like, she is getting baked. So all of her dodging, which she's getting rightfully called out for, doesn't even really serve a purpose, because anyone who hears that knows that that's an admission of guilt. By refusing to be open about the questions and instead saying things like, I'll have to get back with you, or I'll need to check on that, that's very clearly a no. You are not cooperating. You are not doing these things that are being talked about right now, and you don't want to just say that, so instead you look even slimier by refusing to own up to it and instead, beat around the bush. It's just so weird, because the dodging doesn't even serve a purpose other than just making this even more frustrating than it needs to be.
have you provided us all communications from the Secret Service related to that day and that rally? Have you provided this committee? We've asked for this information on July 15th. Have you provided any of this information that this committee has asked of the Secret
Well, I'm going to have to
Service?
check.
Any of it?
I'll have to get back to you.
Have you?
Yeah, no, I have to check. We put the intern on that the day you said it. We just have to make sure that they're not doing whippets right now and on task. And I'm sure they are. Yeah, no, I just have to get back to you on it. That's all. It's a yes. Yes, I did. It's on its way. Did you check the mailbox?
We haven't gotten a single document or piece of information or data from you or your agency in related to the rally that we have asked you for. So, is this
a joke to you?
Assassination of Donald Trump a failure of training or execution or both?
That's not yes or no.
I think that those are answers that we need to
Training,
examine.
execution, or both? Which one?
I think those are answers.
All right. How many Secret Service personnel have lost their jobs due to this colossal failure?
At this time, none.
Personnel have been required to take a refresher course on how not to let people shoot Donald Trump.
Our personnel are currently...
That was an interesting question. It's so snarky. Oh my goodness. That's so very snarky.
We are examining the facts of this investigation, and we will make the changes necessary.
What time did law enforcement become aware that there was an individual on the roof with a clear line of sight to President Trump?
There was a shooter?
I am still verifying timelines.
I'll have to get back to you.
Of course.
That's news to me.
9 days in, you have no answers. How many minutes went by between the time law enforcement saw and took photos of crooks and the shooting? How many minutes?
I am still verifying timelines.
57 minutes.
No, that can't
Thank
be
you,
right.
Mr. Chairman, and I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back.
I'll have to get back to you.
Recognize Ms.
Those minutes have to be completely calculated incorrectly. It's ridiculous. Wow, that was enlightening. Thank you, Secret Service Director. These truly feel fucking worthless. Like, the people that go in there, the Secret Service Director, goofball during the first hearing, they literally go up there and they just say nothing. It's just like, well, maybe. I'm gonna have to check with my superior. I don't know. My dad called and I missed the call. Maybe he was gonna tell me, but I don't know right now. It's just so fucking worthless. Why do you think they'll say nothing? Well, the reason's obvious, but still, it's like completely useless. It's unbelievable how inept the government is when it comes to how it runs. Everything is abominably slow and beyond disorganized. Like all the fucking problems we had with U.S. immigration, lawsuits. I'll be honest with the lawsuit, it's not going that well anymore because the government is so fucking slimy. What should have been a slam dunk case against U.S. immigration is turning into a giant fucking headache. But it's so ridiculous. It's unbelievable how inept it is. Like, I know everyone likes to attribute all the shortcomings and failures to conspiracy, but the truth of the matter is, the people there are just dumb. Like, they're actually fucking stupid. Like, legitimately stupid. Everyone is stupid except me. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Brother, I'm dumb too. If I worked in government, I'd probably also be fucking terrible at my job as well. I'm just saying, everyone likes to attribute to conspiracy what's easily explained through incompetence. I've been seeing it firsthand with U.S. immigration. I promise you, a lot of the things you think are conspiratorial are actually just like fucking glue-huffing losers in there that cannot do what they are supposed to do. Have you ever seen a senator burglarizing her stepmother in the middle of the night, getting caught in the act, then arrested, then losing her position while facing felony burglary charges? Well, you're about to.
On April 22, 2024, Becker County Police Department in Minnesota received a 911 call reporting an active break-in. Little did they know, they would soon find out the suspect is an elected senator for the state of Minnesota.
When I read the title from Midwest Safety, I immediately pictured Senator Armstrong from Metal Gear Rising. Half expected to click into this video and get the monologue. Nanomachine's son. Played college ball, you know. Could've gone pro if I didn't burglarize my stepmother. But it turns out that's not the case.
Becker County 911.
Somebody just broke into my house.
Oh,
They just ran down into my basement.
Did you get a look at him at all?
No, it was completely dark. I tripped over him. He was on the floor next to my bed. I ran downstairs into my basement.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, the burglar is a senator named Nicole Mitchell. Well, now former Senator Nicole Mitchell. And she, I think, holds the title of the most incompetent burglar in human history. This is some shit out of Home Alone. This is the not-so-wet bandit here. I don't know what the thought process was. So apparently she was like hiding under or near her stepmother's bed, and her stepmother tripped over her, which is how she was alerted to her presence. And then she just like fucking pitter-patters her way to the basement to try and flee. So then the stepmother's like, what the fuck? What in tarnation? Calls the police, and she's like more confused than anything. Like, yeah, there's a burglar here. I tripped over him. He was like under my bed. I don't know if it was like a panty raid or what, but like they were under my bed, so I tripped over him. Would really love if you came and arrested them. They ran into my basement, I think.
I have a little steak knife in my hand right now.
Steak knife? Okay. All right.
I don't know where they could have. I don't see any.
She's clearly very frightened, like anyone would be in this situation. She's grabbed the steak knife to protect herself if things go south. I imagine she'd bust out some fucking Leon S. Kennedy level moves if, you know, the situation called for it. But luckily the police got there in a pretty timely fashion, it seems, because when they arrive, the burglar is still there.
Police department, make yourself known. 37 back there, got a little motion underneath the stairs in the house. Sounds like he's trying to get outside of the back to the north of the house.
Get on the ground.
Okay.
Get on the ground.
Carol? Yeah? It's Nicole. It's Nicole? I was just trying to get a couple of my dad's things because he wouldn't talk to me anymore.
So they got her, and then the big reveal, the huge plot twist. She calls her stepmother by name, and the stepmother is shocked that it's her stepdaughter, Nicole. And she tries to explain that she was just there to get a few of her dad's things. Now that story is going to change a lot over the course of this adventure, but make a note of this. She's there because she just wants to get some of her father's belongings, which explains why she's in a cartoonish cat burglar outfit. It actually looks like she's going to a Halloween costume party, but couldn't think of any ideas, so stopped by Spirit Halloween and grabbed the cheapest burglar costume she could find for it. It is unbelievable how, like, cliche this outfit is. I am stunned to see a real burglary from someone dressed like this. I'm also shocked that she didn't just, like, bolt for the front door and run away. Instead, she trapped herself in the basement and just squatted there, literally just standing in the middle of the bathroom. I don't know if she tried to do like a Blair Witch staring at the wall or something, like, if I can't see them, they can't see me. I have no idea, but it was not the cleanest getaway. And speaking of clean, you need to clean yourself up using Cheeky soap. And great news, we just introduced a new scent into the family here, Bahami Mami. It's a tropical scent. It is fantastic, you're gonna love it, and you need to upgrade your hygiene. It's time, and this is the best way of doing it. Highly moisturizing body soap, best soap in the universe. Go to usecheeky.com and get some.
She also stole documents out of my house. She's my stepdaughter. I didn't steal any documents. How did I steal documents?
Nicole, what's your last name?
Mitchell.
Stand up.
No one stole anything here, Carol. I don't have anything on me.
Take her out if you want to talk. You got anything on you?
No.
Yeah, what a nonsensical thought process, Carol. Obviously no one stole anything. What an outlandish thought to even cross your head. Why would you even get the idea that there could have been a burglary taking place here just because I'm in your house unannounced in the middle of the night, hiding under your bed, dressed like I'm about to go rob a bank? What? Does that mean all of a sudden I'm here stealing something? No.
Why was she squatting down next to my bed?
Who is this to you?
Pardon?
Who is this to you?
She's my stepdaughter.
Stepdaughter.
She's also a Minnesota senator.
A great question, Carol. Why was she squatting down next to your bed? The world may never know. The Lord has no idea.
She lives in the Twin Cities.
Unknown to the officer at the time, the suspect previously was a meteorologist for the Weather Channel and a local news anchor before being elected a senator.
She's a senator?
Yeah. Yeah. Was.
Was or is currently?
She is. I meant after this.
Oh.
Her stepdaughter may have been a meteorologist predicting the weather, but Carol predicted the future here with this one, and she was right on the money. It is past tense. Nicole was a senator, but after this burglary, she is no longer and is facing some super serious charges.
My husband passed away just
her father. And the day after he died, her aunt came here and they walked out with all these, it was Tuesday.
Okay.
They were walking out the door with all these forms and I ran out the door and said, what are you guys doing? Nancy said, we're just trying to help you, just trying to figure out where you are financially.
No, it's a...
So here's where breadcrumbs start to connect a little bit. Carol mentions that Nicole is very close to one of her aunts, and after her husband passed away, they came and took some documents from this house while saying that they're just making sure she's doing everything, correct when it comes to finances. Which, that smells a little fishy. There's something stinky afoot there, and now all of a sudden Nicole is back unannounced in the middle of the night, dressed like a fucking thief class in an MMO.
My dad died last year. She's paranoid. Well, now she's really paranoid. But,
Has she done this before?
Not that, but she's insisted that my son should get nothing, she should get everything, all that stuff.
Where'd she come in at?
Get into my
You know?
I don't have a clue.
when everyone tried to help her right after the funeral.
She's not trying to help me, she's trying to get money.
She kept, I can show you my bank account.
Well, let's go upstairs.
So this is Nicole Mitchell's strategy. This is her go-to play here to try and weasel her way out of the trouble she's in. The crux of her argument for why she's there is that her stepmother is paranoid, and she's been mentally declining, and she's senile, doesn't understand things, so she's, talking all crazy, all that paranoia. But Carol, I think, seems pretty sharp here in recognizing that Nicole is probably there for financial reasons again, because it seems like that's something that's happened in the past, granted not to this level. And Nicole just keeps harping on, no, she's just paranoid. As Nicole is literally dressed like a fucking burglar out of a Saturday morning cartoon in her house in the middle of the night looking to steal shit. I don't think that's paranoia. Paranoia indicates that there's some level of delusion or disconnect from reality. Carol is very grounded in reality. Nicole Mitchell is off in fucking goober space.
Yep, there it is.
That window?
Over there, yep.
Okay. Is this her bag?
Must be. I don't know.
Yeah, stuck in the window.
I'm just hoping this mistake won't completely I know, I did something bad. After the funeral, my aunts tried to help her. She thinks they stole from her when they were just trying to get her affairs in order.
Okay.
She was progressively cut off the family.
They find a backpack half pushed through the window. They eventually find 2 laptops in that bag, which coincidentally, turns out Carol is missing 2 laptops. But we'll get to Nicole's excuse for that in a moment. She denies that the 2 laptops are Carol's. And now while talking to Nicole, she once again tries to harp on she's just unreasonable and she's just real out of it. She's gone loopy. She thinks everyone's out to get her, and so she's progressively cut off the family. To be honest with you, Nicole, I can see why she would progressively cut off the family here, considering one of the family members is breaking into her house in the middle of the fucking night, lying next to her bed doing a tabletop challenge or something. It makes sense. I don't think it's paranoia. I think she made the completely correct call in cutting off this part of the family here. And she mentions the aunts, something Carol also mentioned without the 2 of them even communicating, so it's pretty clear that there is something going on with the aunts and Nicole and the finances here that Carol has after the passing of her husband.
Okay.
But she's got Alzheimer's and she's gotten... I know this doesn't help. This is just going to prove the point. But she's gotten paranoid and thinks we're all out to get her and won't let anyone in the house. I just wanted to get a couple of my dad's mementos, and that's all.
Okay. So what kind of mementos?
A couple pictures and maybe one of his shirts.
So she's saying that Carol has Alzheimer's and thinks everyone's out to get her, and thus she broke into her house to get some of her father's mementos. Nicole, it does seem like you're out to get her, and I'm inclined to believe other members of the family are too, considering you've conspired with them to take some documents from her house. It does seem like she's 100% in the right to think that there are some members of the family out to get her.
Hi.
What's your name?
Nicole.
Are those laptops in your backpack yours?
Yes?
Okay. She's saying she's missing 2 laptops.
I mean, I can show you one. It's got my kid's Minecraft game on it.
Okay. What's the other one for?
I have one for work.
Okay.
She has Alzheimer's. She's been misplacing things. I can show you texts going back months saying, you know, things are missing, this and that.
Okay. I'm just asking, so it's not a reason to break anybody's house.
No, that wasn't my intention.
Already.
She decided to bring 2 laptops with her in the backpack to a burglary? It's an interesting plan. Her strategy, it escapes me, but I'm not a galaxy brain, mega mind level intellect like Nicole Mitchell, clearly. But they then talk more to Carol, and they're asking about, what did she take previously, and she mentions that what her and her aunts took last time were a bunch of bank papers. The officers are asking, well, why would she be taking these things? How does this help her? And then she mentions that her husband didn't have an actual will. So the bank papers and all that she believes is for, inheritance stuff, financial kind of gain. Which makes a lot of sense. Significantly more sense than Nicole's story.
Okay, how come it has Carol's name on it?
It was one that she had given me way back when to use for the kids.
Well, she's missing 2 laptops, is what she said. So I'm taking this laptop. How about this one? Okay, that one's got your name on it. Okay. That one will stay with your property, but I am taking this one.
That's fine.
Did you try shoving that backpack out and it didn't go out?
I want to answer your questions.
So one of them had Carol's name on it, and the other does seem to be actually hers. The state of Minnesota laptop right there. So she did, I guess, bring a laptop to this. My guess being she wanted to take Carol's laptop and upload things from it to hers, perhaps? I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. But it is very clear that she had some bad intentions. I don't think it was just to get some of her father's mementos. And in fact, she completely drops that narrative, by the way. After this arrest, this is the only time she tries making that claim. She then must have consulted with a lawyer or something, fucking called Saul, but Saul was too busy on Fent or something, because then she completely changes this story and goes with the narrative that she was actually only there to check on her stepmother's well-being because she cared so much. She just loves her so much and wanted to make sure she was okay.
Which is a felony, as well as possession of burglary tools. Mitchell was a Minnesota state senator at the time of her arrest and refused to resign after the incident. She accused her mother-in-law of suffering from paranoia about break-ins and senility. She also refused the release of the body cam footage. After her arrest, she posted on social media changing her story that she claimed in the body cam footage. Instead of saying she was there to take possession of her father's mementos, her social media post claims she was there to simply check on her stepmother due to her health issues, and she startled her, essentially putting the blame on the stepmother's medical problems.
Now, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on wellness checks here, but this seems like a really bad approach to checking on someone whom you believe to have declining mental health. To dress up like a burglar and then hide under their bed in the middle of the night unannounced, and then scaring the bejeebus out of them, then scurrying down to the basement while desperately trying to get through the window. I don't know, call me crazy, but it just doesn't really seem like the priority and the goal here with breaking into the house was just to make sure that your beloved stepmother was doing okay. I feel like if someone was wanting to check on me, they probably wouldn't bust into my fucking house in the middle of the night and hide under my bed, causing me to trip over them, still say nothing, by the way, and then just run away. I don't know, I wouldn't have that moment and be like, oh, thank God they checked on me. That wasn't a burglar, that was my best friend, no doubt, making sure that I'm doing okay. Ah, that's so sweet of them to stop by in their burglar costume in the middle of the night. What a crazy story to try and spin. There is no human being on the planet that would believe that. Like, her previous attempt with, getting her father's mementos, that makes sense if she had any of her father's mementos in her bag, which she didn't, apparently. So maybe that's why they tried this, because she couldn't, procure any of that. It clearly wasn't why she was there. So maybe the lawyer was like, if you try that, they're going to grill you on, well, why didn't you have the mementos? Whereas here, they can't tell you what you were actually there to do, I suppose. But you can definitely poke a hole in the logic of this. It makes no sense at all. She didn't check on Carol's health or anything And if she was there to do that, why is she dressed like a burglar? Like, there are just so many obvious flaws with it. Though now I'm really playing with this thought experiment here, like how you'd possibly argue this. I guess maybe something you could squeak out is be like, oh, well, I thought Carol liked burglars. You know, some people really like clowns. You like clap at clowns, makes them laugh, makes them feel better. I thought Carol would feel better if I dressed like a burglar. I always thought she was a big fan of that get-up. I misunderstood, I'm sorry, but I really was there to check on her health. Like, I don't know, like, maybe you could try that?
This, however, doesn't line up with the fact that she was wearing the most cliché burglar outfit she possibly could have. She then put out a statement saying she has no intention of resigning from her seat in the Senate. However, in mid-July 2025, things took an unexpected turn for her.
New today, a Minnesota state senator found guilty of burglarizing her stepmother's home has officially resigned. She testified during her trial she was checking on her stepmom, not stealing from her. A jury disagreed, finding her guilty.
According to Midwest Safety, her sentencing is on the 10th, but she was found guilty of the burglary. I think we can say with confidence probably one of the most unskilled burglars the video camera footage has ever captured. Like, this is Three Stooges level. So, yeah, that's really about it. So, yeah.
There's one headline that pops up pretty often that I'm sure all of you are used to seeing now. It's like a Stan Lee cameo in the news cycle. TikTok being banned. It's here all the time, like this looming menace. Any day now, TikTok's gonna get banned. The boogeyman will be destroyed. And every single time, it seems nothing happens and nothing changes. But yesterday, there was a pretty sizable development in this whole anime arc, where Congress voted 50-0 about going forward with the TikTok ban, assuming they don't divest. So it's a really interesting situation where I'm still not convinced it's going to be banned because there's just too much money at play here. And I've just seen this song and dance too many times. You can only puff out your chest for so long before it just becomes no longer meaningful. But I'll be honest, there's a little part of me thinking like, damn, they could actually just ban TikTok this time around. It was so bad, in fact, that TikTok themselves sent out like an APB to their users like, hey, we need to get everyone on the horn here to contact your congressmen and let them know what TikTok means to you. So TikTok weaponized the airwaves and gave their users all the tools needed to contact their congressmen as quickly and efficiently as possible. So they spearheaded fucking Operation Piss Baby, where people started calling these congressmen and complaining, saying about why TikTok shouldn't be banned, this and that. There were allegedly so many calls from so many disgruntled users that they had to shut off their phones because people kept shaking their fist at them. And that does seem pretty significant considering TikTok itself seems to be scared about this new Congress vote. So perhaps there really is a chance that it gets banned, and that would be one of the most shocking things I think I've ever seen with a company of this size. I feel like what's most likely to happen is TikTok eventually will just play ball and divest, and that'll be that. TikTok will persist. It's just so big. It's massive. And it's not just normal, like average everyday users, like average Joes. It's businesses now that invest so much money into TikTok. It's all of these corporations now. It has been heavily commercialized, even outside of just people sending goofy dances back and forth. There's so much money wrapped up in it. I just don't see it vanishing. And it's become such a massive marketing tool for so many companies. I would be beyond stunned. But anyway, I went over it on stream, diving into all of the thorough details. So I'm just going to go ahead and play those clips so you can get caught up to speed on why it's looking down the barrel of a potential ban and what's exactly going on with it. Did you see Congress just pass legislation to ban TikTok in the United States? I feel like we get that headline once every 6 months at least. I don't believe it, but I'll take a peek here. This happens all the time. And then eventually it just peters out like, it's okay. TikTok can stay. Members of Congress are being flooded with calls from angry constituents after TikTok launched a new campaign warning its users that the Chinese-owned app was at risk of being shut down in the U.S. Why it matters. A key House committee voted unanimously Thursday afternoon to advance bipartisan legislation that would force ByteDance, TikTok's Chinese parent company, to divest its ownership of the app within 165 days. Didn't they already do this? I thought that was like one of the main stipulations for how it continued to survive. No, they just kept complaining about it. Oh. The highly unusual 50-0 vote in the House of Energy and Commerce Committee, which unveiled the bill 2 days ago alongside the China Select Committee, reflected the level of anger among some members of TikTok's pressure campaign. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise announced Thursday he would bring the critical national security bill to the House floor for a vote next week. The White House has indicated that President Biden would sign the bill, injecting new urgency and aggression into TikTok's campaign to counter the years-long efforts to address the app's national security risks. The flood of calls to congressional offices, which began Wednesday night, was triggered by a notice on TikTok app warning users of a total ban that would damage millions of businesses, destroy the livelihoods of countless creators across the country, and deny artists an audience. After asking users to enter their zip code, TikTok then directed them to call their representative in Congress to let them know what TikTok means to you and tell them to vote no. Oh, that must have been like the worst 24 hours for these geriatrics, getting calls from fucking little Jonathan. Hey, TikTok really means a lot. I go on there and watch all these really cool dances. You know you can buy plutonium online for $50? I did not know that. I don't know what I'd ever do with plutonium, but if I ever need it, now I know it's available. Now it's looks maxing. Yeah. No, it's just only looks maxing. Mewing tutorials out the wazoo. Inhaling toxins. I understood that reference. That's about the chroming, right? An 11-year-old just died from that, and Twitter was dunking on him for being stupid, which is like the most Twitter thing ever, insulting an 11-year-old. Wait, chroming like fucking Mad Max? Yeah, the trend was like you spray your face with I don't even remember what it was now, but they used some kind of aerosol which obviously has toxins in it, and an 11-year-old apparently passed away from it. And Twitter, like the comments were just eating the kid alive, insulting his family, insulting the kid, saying natural selection wins again, rest in peace bozo type shit to an 11-year-old. Literally like a fucking 4th grader. Who just fell victim to the brain rot on TikTok, seeing all these other people doing it, so they do it themselves. Phones are completely bogged down hearing from students, young adults, and business owners who are all concerned at the option of losing their access to the platform, a senior GOP aide told Axios' Julia Grace Brufk. The authors of the bill responded furiously to what they call a massive propaganda campaign, emphasizing that TikTok would not be banned if ByteDance divests its ownership. TikTok is characterizing it as an outright ban, which is of course an outright lie. House China Select Committee Chair Mike Gallagher told reporters, I guess if you got $1 bajillion, you can come up with some crazy public affairs strategy. But it's backfiring as members are livid about the calls and misinformation. So bad we turned phones off, which means we could miss calls from constituents who actually need urgent help with something. I wish TikTok would be shut down. I don't think it's going to happen. I think no matter what, it won't be shut down. Even if ByteDance refuses to divest its ownership, I still don't see it happening. I think it's just too big. There's too much money at play. We should all gritty in front of the Capitol and protest. Yeah, just hit the say so dance out there, bring world peace. Like that Pepsi commercial. There will always be another TikTok replacement. Well, it's called YouTube Shorts. But regardless, I don't see TikTok actually being shut down no matter what. TikTok is banned on federal devices, and Biden administration officials helped with the bill's technical language, but the Biden campaign joined the app last month in an effort to reach young viewers. Well, you tell me Sleepy Joe's on there busting out some moves? What's the Joe Biden content looking like on that app? Man throwing it in a circle? Fucking seductively licking ice cream at the camera? I'm super curious now. Hold on, let me see his campaign. In a video captioned, lol, hey guys, Biden answered fun Super Bowl related questions, such as game or commercials. And Jason Kelsey or Travis Kelsey. Oh man, he's killing it. Where is it? Oh, wait, this actually is it.
Great quarterbacks, hard to decide. But if I didn't say I was for the Eagles, and I'd be sleeping alone. My wife's a Philly girl.
Game or commercials?
Game.
Game or halftime show?
Game.
Jason Kelsey or Travis Kelsey?
Mama Kelsey. I understand she makes great chocolate chip cookies.
Deviously plotting to
Damn, that
so
Riz.
the Chiefs would make the Super Bowl, or the Chiefs just being a good football team?
I'd get in trouble if I told you.
Trump or Biden?
Are you kidding? Biden.
Chiefs or Niners?
Damn, he's killing it. He's doing it. He's fucking doing it. You can't ban TikTok now. Joe Biden's hitting his stride. He's finally going to fulfill his lifelong dream of being a TikTok superstar. It can't be banned now. It's not getting shut down no matter what. Joe ain't got nothing on Hillary. She was dabbing with the best of them. Did she dab? I don't remember that. I remember the Pokemon go to the polls, and I remember... I don't think it was Hillary, but there was some other politician that did like the sexy grind trend, which was an interesting strategy. The White House also briefed around 70 digital content creators and influencers, many who are prominent on TikTok, ahead of Biden's State of the Union speech on Thursday. Multiple polls have found TikTok to be the top source of news for Gen Z and an increasingly popular source for Americans overall. What does this mean? The White House briefed around 70 digital content creators and influencers. What, do they have content creators on staff? They called a State of the Union internally for their 70 content creators on TikTok. Guys, get in here. Big news. DEFCON. We're going to try to meet the American people where they are, White House Press Secretary Karen Jean-Pierre told reporters when asked if the campaign's embrace of TikTok sent a conflicting message. It doesn't mean we're not going to try to figure out how to protect our national security. The bill marks the latest effort in what has become one of Washington's longest-running tech dramas, which began in August 2020 when President Trump ordered ByteDance to sell TikTok. Yeah, I thought that's what happened, too. I thought I remembered reading they did. That effort was held up in court, and for most of the Biden administration, the company's fate in the U.S. has hinged on a long-awaited and still pending decision from the Committee on Foreign Investment in the U.S. Last year, the White House National Security Council threw its support behind the Restrict Act, a different bill aimed at TikTok that has languished in the Senate. Gallagher called on Biden to address the threat posed by TikTok's Chinese ownership in the State of the Union address. It's incumbent upon him to talk about our foremost national security threat, which is Chinese Communist Party, and this is part of that threat. I think the president would be wise to focus squarely on what we can do together, as Republicans, as Democrats, as Americans, to stand up to increasing communist aggression. There was a time when Vine was the biggest. Yeah, but Vine didn't get shut down by the government. It got shut down by the creators. Secondhand embarrassment is a very real phenomenon. It occurs when you witness something that is so grossly turbo cringe that your body has a fight or flight response and fills you with shame from just having watched it, even though you weren't directly involved in the situation. I think the number one cause of secondhand embarrassment is bad stand-up comedy. So, like, what's the deal with airline food? Salt shakers, you fill them up, and then where does it all go? Like, when a stand-up set bombs, I feel like most people get embarrassed for the person up there. But today, I got so much secondhand embarrassment, I feel like I got a year's worth of shame in one afternoon, thanks to the TikTok congressional hearing that happened. This was an absolute mockery of the entire country. It was absolutely foul. It was painful to watch. So I'd like to show you just a few of the clips. The whole thing was about 5.5 hours long, and I can't imagine anyone can make it to the end without puking. It's brutal. It has everything you're probably imagining, tech illiteracy and horrible questions out the wazoo, all wrapped up into one 5-hour endurance test of the human patience. In a nutshell, there's been a lot of controversy about TikTok and TikTok bans, like banning on government phones, which I do agree with. I don't think there's any argument to be made that a fucking government or someone in power person should have TikTok on their phone just because of potential security risks associated with it. And this has expanded into a lot of other big debates around it. I am not a personal fan of the platform in general. I don't really use it that often. Plus, I think it's been extremely detrimental to the actual mental health and attention span of human beings. Because now, I don't know if you go on TikTok often, if you go on TikTok and it's someone just talking about something or a clip of something, there is always Subway Surfers, Rocket League, or GTA playing underneath it in order to keep your attention, because people need such constant stimulation and jingling keys. If there's not like 3 separate videos of like bars of soap getting cut for satisfying videos, or Rocket League freestyling while the core video itself is playing, they click off. That shit is just so pathetic. It's actual brain rot behavior. I am very curious to see in 10 years if that's going to be the commonplace for everything in the world. Like if movies now are going to be like playing a movie, but then also underneath it, another separate movie, making sure that your attention is captured. Like, it's so baffling just how far the attention span of humans is degrading, where they can't watch a fucking 30-second video without 3 other videos also playing to keep their attention. But with all of that being said, I still don't want to see it nationally banned or any shit like that. And the reason's very simple. Because I like a world where people have the freedom to choose what they do with their whole life, pretty much. So if you want to download TikTok, you should. Even in spite of potential security risks to your privacy or whatever, that should entirely be on the individual's choice. Does the entertainment the platform offer outweigh the potential security risks to your data being sold or whatever? That's up to the person to decide. That's my ideal scenario where people have the freedom to make their own fucking choices there when it comes to some shit like this. I've made it clear I'm no fan of TikTok. I am also very confident that there is a huge level of like spyware with TikTok associated with it, more than the CEO lets on. But holy shit, this congressional hearing or whatever has done nothing but make the CEO of TikTok look like a patient saint. Like an actual Zen master to deal with the unhinged lunacy and out-of-touch questions those fucking fossils were throwing his way. It blew my mind. It blew my fucking mind. Her, oh my god, she's so dumb. She kept asking him questions, but instead of letting him answer, she'd just say, yes, yes, yes. And then she pulled up a random shitpost on TikTok like, you see this threat? Oh, fuck me. Yeah, so she pulled this up, and she's like, look at this. Outrageous. It's not a viral post or anything, by the way.
That video was posted 41 days ago. As you can see, it is captioned me as F.
Dude who asked about TikTok using Wi-Fi? I don't remember, but I think they were trying to make a bigger point. And this is really giving a very charitable bone to the person who asked the question. I think what they were getting at with asking about Wi-Fi is he was trying to state that if one device is connected to a network, it can access everything on that network, which it can, but he couldn't ask the question because I don't think he really fully understood it. But again, I'm doing a very charitable service trying to even make some sense out of that awful question. This accomplished nothing except making their CEO look better. Full-heartedly believe there is a lot more fishy shit at play on the back end of TikTok, but they did not even get close to the bottom of it because they couldn't even wrap their head around what an app on your phone is. It's tragic.
Mr. Zhang Fuping is the editor-in-chief.
He's not.
My colleague, Representative
Just doesn't even let him say it or talk.
Minutes ago exposed that TikTok and ByteDance share legal teams. You confirmed this, correct?
Our general counsel is an American lawyer, veteran of Microsoft.
Also, my colleague, Representative Latta, confirmed that your parent
fucking
company,
worthless.
ByteDance, currently can access user data. Yes?
We have to be more specific.
Yes.
After Project Texas, no.
I'm not asking after Project Texas, I'm asking now. Yes.
Some user data is public data, Congresswoman, which means everybody can search.
What's interesting to me is that you have used the word transparency over a half a dozen times.
So, doesn't seem to understand that when you ask a question, you should wait for an answer instead of fill in your own blanks here. So, her asking about the data that they're accessing, he talks about the public data, which is something every app in the world accesses, even that computer she's on right there. I bet she's logged in on Twitter. That uses all of your fucking data too. I bet she has a Facebook account. That not only accesses all of your data, it sells it too. All of these apps do that. What they needed to get to the bottom of is more in line with like what is TikTok specifically doing with that data and how it relates to like the CCP and shit like that. But instead they're so hung up on like public data. You're accessing public profiles. That's creepy. That's something one of the guys said. It's so fucking crazy. And for some reason, they don't even let him answer, so they get no answers. They get nothing out of this. It is fucking worthless. It is a complete waste of time. They said they were watching children's public profiles, which was creepy. Everything's watching every public profile ever. That's the whole point of it being public. It gets scanned in these systems. That's not exclusive to TikTok. Twitter does it. Facebook does it. YouTube does it. Everything does it. Literally everything. We threw away our privacy long, long ago. TikTok is just a little more nefarious, potentially, with what it uses that data for, at least based on, like, reports from a year or two ago. Not meant to be informational or useful, it's meant to grandstand for campaigns. It's actually tame compared to everything else, and, well, I guess maybe. It's still so stupid, though, because this doesn't do anything to further anyone's agenda here. Everyone that asked him questions today looks like a bumbling fucking buffoon. A genuine moron. Like, I feel like all this does is shake people's confidence in their elected representatives here. They couldn't they couldn't ask a good question. Were they like this with Mark Zuckerberg? Yes! Yes, they were. It was just as bad with Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg sat in the same hot seat as this guy did, and he got bombarded with just as stupid questions. If I remember correctly, one of the Facebook questions was, do I need internet to connect to Facebook? Or something like that. We are not getting anything out of this garbage. What do you think their approach should be on this topic? Hand it off to people that understand it. Clearly, this woman doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. At all. She has no clue what's going on right there. And she clearly doesn't even want to get answers because she's too busy answering herself. So get someone who gets it, have them ask the questions, and come up with the questions to begin with. Delegate. This is clearly not her strong suit. She's not even old! That you can't just keep using the excuse of they're all fucking geriatric. She is not old. She is willfully stupid. And still tries to act like an authority on the topic. She pulled up a fucking 400 view shitpost to try and use it as a point that completely fell flat. And then doesn't even let the guy answer her questions because she's too busy answering herself. Now, while she may have come to this hootenanny unprepared and made me ashamed to be a Floridian, she did mention something that I think is important to talk about briefly, which is Project Texas. Project Texas is something TikTok did to appease the US. In a quick nutshell, Project Texas is US user data being sent to Oracle, which is on American soil, as opposed to going anywhere else. So all of the US user data will now be on American soil, and Oracle kind of oversees the whole thing.
On a device in one pocket, but downloaded on your device in the other doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I believe Congress and DoD should address the continued use of TikTok on military installations as well as any use that depicts U.S. military operations. Mr. Chu, does TikTok access the home Wi-Fi network?
Only if the user turns on the Wi-Fi. I'm sorry, I may not understand the...
So if I have a TikTok app...
Again, this is being very charitable. I think the point he was trying to make is, when it accesses the Wi-Fi, it has access to all of your devices that are within that network, which every device that accesses your Wi-Fi does. That is factual, that is true. Which is actually something that happened to Kaya. He downloaded a burglar broke in and downloaded a torrent, and it came with a virus, which infected multiple devices that were on his network. It is known that when you are on a Wi-Fi network, it connects to more than just the single thing that's connected to it. It's everything there. So I think his point was, can it access my other devices? Which is why he's talking about, like, downloading on a device next to me. Shit like that. But the way he asked that question is so bafflingly stupid that even the TikTok CEO's like, fucking obviously, it's gonna access your Wi-Fi if you turn it on, right? Like, it's just craziness. So have someone who understands what the fuck they're talking about be the one to ask these questions. I think you gave him too much credit. He probably thinks Wi-Fi is a radio. Again, it's a very charitable interpretation of what I think he could have been trying to say. I could be way off and giving way too much credit there. I don't know. For the sake of clarity, I actually think that guy's follow-up question kind of hints more at what I was saying. Even though it's still poorly asked and his follow-up question is still poorly phrased, I do think with a high level of confidence the thing he was trying to get at is TikTok going to be accessing all kinds of things on my network outside of just the one device that I'm using right now to connect to it? I think is what he really wanted to get at, but he didn't know how to get to that topic effectively. So he ended up making a very silly question out of the whole thing, which really sums up the entire hearing. Just silly questions that didn't do anything at all. They didn't get any answers. They didn't get to the bottom of any real questions people have. It was just a genuine fucking circus. Just an absolute clown show. That's really about it. See ya.